back to the channel. In today's video, I thought now is as good a time as ever. It marks around about the 1 year since I was last in the amazing country of Singapore, and I thought let's compile a video on things that I learnt while I was over there that I wish I knew before I went. So I'm gonna go through top five things when in Singapore, and hopefully you guys can learn something from me in this. Singapore is an amazing country. It offers a plethora of activities and things to do. It's definitely more than just a stopover, layover destination. It's its own destination, its own right. It's definitely somewhere where you need to visit if you haven't, or you haven't spent much time here. I really enjoyed my time in Singapore with some buddies that I went with. So let's get into the top five. So number one, when you're getting off the plane at Changi Airport, one of the best airports in the entire world, you'll see when you arrive how good it is. One of the first things you're going to want to do when you get to Singapore is get some form of internet. Coming from a different country, your mobile phone carrier will either won't work or will start charging you stupid amounts of data on for international roaming. So you want to look for one of the major telco companies over there. These are three that are operating in Singapore. I went with StarHub. They were the first ones I found when I was in the airport. Basically, you want to get a data share SIM that gives you enough data to support you for the trip you've got planned. So you can plan activities, book hotels if you haven't planned them already, figure out what you want to have for dinner, activities, trips, day trips, all that sort of stuff. It's either get data share SIMs, or the other option, if you're not really into that sort of thing, is keep an eye on Starbucks. They're located pretty much everywhere in Singapore, and they offer free Wi-Fi for a limited time. So grab yourself a drink, take 30 minutes, rest up from the day, and use some internet. Also McDonald's, they offer it as well. And again, everywhere in Singapore, there's McDonald's, absolutely everywhere. Number two is transport. Everyone's gonna need to get around while in Singapore. Singapore offers one of the best transport systems in the world. It is so well connected, and with Singapore being so small, is just the perfect match. Definitely recommend getting one of the EasyLink Smart Rider cards that they offer. I think in the time we were there, the 5.5, 6 days we were there, we spent, I think we topped up $20 initially, and I think I chucked another 10 on, and that lasted me the rest of the trip. And I think I had like $5 left that I ended up giving to Luke at the end. Uber's another option, but apparently it's not as reliable. And also obviously taxis, you know what you're getting with a taxi. You're paying that premium price to get from A to B pretty quickly. Yeah, the longest we waited for a train, bus, tram, horse and cart, elevator, chairlift through the entire time we were there was approximately 3 minutes. It was just like, you'd get to the platform, bang, there's a train. It was just instantaneous. It was amazing. Number three, Singapore is a tropical country in a tropical climate, but I wish I'd known how humid and hot it was going to be when I was there before I got there. It was like 100% humidity all the time. It was a very big drain on the body during the day. So I would definitely recommend doing any outside activities during the early morning to mid-morning, so probably up till about 11 a.m. and probably not coming back outside unless it's like a really cool day for some strange reason. I'd probably recommend staying inside till probably the 3 o'clock mark. So plan your day well, plan what you're going to do during the morning, and then when it starts to get really hot, probably do more stuff inside. Like in the shopping malls, the aircon in there is like very, very cold. So spend your time inside. If you've got a pool at your hotel, that would be another option. So definitely recommend staying out of the heat during the middle of the day. So the weather, watch out for the weather. It is surprisingly warm and humid. Number four, food. Food is obviously going to be a big part of your travel budget when you're on holidays. Food in Singapore is surprisingly expensive. It doesn't need to be though, depending on if you know where to go. There is these places called hawker centers, which I think are endemic to Singapore and the surrounding areas. We went to a place called La Parcette, and it's basically like these really big outdoor undercover food courts that offer a range of food like Indian, Chinese, and everything in between at really, really cheap prices. The other thing is they also have these like scores at the front of the buildings, and basically they'll offer like A, B, C, D, E, whatever, and you want to really target the ones that are A's and B's because they're generally more hygienic and you're less likely to get sick. Look them up before you head out or plan them beforehand. They're scattered throughout Singapore. They're a good cheap option for a reasonably priced meal, and you also get to see like a really different side to Singapore. The one we went to was like an old Victorian building, colonial times, and it was like completely surrounded in like massive skyscrapers, and yet there's this tiny little food court on one of the city blocks, and it was really cool to see. And number 5, Singapore is obviously well known for being the fine capital of the world. It's clean for a reason. Obviously everyone knows you're not allowed to chew chewing gum in Singapore. Actually, a funny story, when I went to a gaming store and bought a little like Dragon Ball Z figurine. I bought it, went home, went back to the hotel, got it out of the box, and in the bottom of the box was this little packet of chewing gum, and I was freaking out. I felt like the biggest criminal. It was hilarious. Other things to note, jaywalking. Jaywalking in Singapore is actually not allowed. So yeah, I'm the first to admit, as soon as there's no traffic coming, when I can see down the road, I'm first to cross the road. So wait for the little green man. Don't cross the road unless it's a green little man, because you'll probably get a fine. And another one is, which actually surprised me, was you can actually get a fine for not flushing the toilet after you've been. So yeah, make sure you flush the toilet when you're in Singapore. You'll get a fine if you don't. Next is on the public transport. Obviously no smoking, that's pretty prevalent everywhere. No eating and drinking was one of the big ones. I struggled with this a lot. Get your little drink for the road, you're thirsty and hot, and you jump on the train. First thing you want to do is scull that thing down. Obviously no flammable goods, and durians are a tropical fruit found in Southeast Asia, and yeah, they're like really smelly apparently. So yeah, don't eat one of them on public transport or you'll cop yourself a nice little fine, which is super interesting and super weird. And there you go, 5 tips when in Singapore. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hope you guys learnt something in the meantime, and I will catch you guys in the next one.